This morning on DC News Now, all quiet across the DMV, mainly clear skies out there to greet you as you're stepping out the door. But we are watching Nicole. Nicole, now a tropical storm moving across Florida. We'll see the remnants of Nicole as early as tomorrow morning. Some of the outer rain bands moving in closer towards our area. Latest details and timing of those coming up.
And breaking this morning, 2 men in the hospital after a shooting in Prince George's County. What police know in the early hours of the investigation.
Plus, a self-defense shooting, what police in Northern Virginia say led up to one man firing shots in his own home.
And coming under fire, the big announcement expected about the commander's troubled owner. DC News Now starts right now.
The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
All right, it's 6 o'clock on this Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Corey James.
And I'm Shanika Grimshaw in for Tanaya Wright. Let's head over to Jackie, who's tracking the storm. It is looking so scary out there. This is in Florida. Jackie, we were just talking about that.
Yeah, we're talking about this live look at Flagler Beach in Florida, right along the immediate coastline. Notice those waves still crashing on shore. But as we pan over towards that pier there, you can also notice just how windy it is with some the stuff on that pier moving around at this point. But yes, those waves certainly coming in a little bit farther inland in comparison to normal. Now, this is a live, or I shouldn't say live look. This was from yesterday afternoon in Daytona Beach, well ahead of that storm making landfall. Just notice those waves coming in on shore and really a lot of beach erosion is going on right now, right along the immediate coastline of Florida. And this was happening yesterday afternoon when the storm was about 200 miles offshore. Now the storm made landfall earlier this morning, right around 3 a.m. as a Category 1 hurricane. Now it has weakened to a tropical storm as it moves farther inland. But notice over the last couple of hours, the eye of that storm not quite as defined as it was before. So that does indicate that is also weakening at this point, but still seeing major impacts across parts of Florida as we speak. The winds still up. We're also noticing a few of those heavier rain bands sliding through Orlando as we speak. All of that plume of moisture coming in right off the Atlantic there, continuing to pummel parts of Florida. Satellite radar, though, back here locally, we're tracking quiet conditions across our area. However, we'll likely see those rain showers associated with what will be the remnants of Nicole as early as tomorrow morning. Temperatures, though, out there right now, 30s to right into the 40s. We're upper 40s right now in the district. And Futurecast showing us at the leading edge of some of those rain showers moving in as early as tomorrow morning. I'll have more details on this. Look at towards the rest of that 7-day coming up. But Christy Matino is here with the very latest on traffic. How's it looking out there this morning?
Well, here's a look at 495. You're heading westbound. It is starting to slow down just a little bit this morning, but not too bad. Not as bad as we have seen in the past. Overall, the roads are looking pretty good. If you take a look here, we just have a little bit of red there and there, but not too much to worry about. I will tell you about a few things we are watching here as we've been talking about Manassas here. This is exit 47. You're heading up there northbound. That is going to be a slowdown due to some construction. And then if we jump over here to near Laurel and Severn, 175, there's an accident there as well. Just be mindful of, guys.
All right, Christy, thank you. We're following some breaking news this morning in Prince George's County where 2 men were shot. This happened near East Ridge Drive and East Spring Place in Landover. Both men were taken to the hospital and are expected to be okay. Also developing this morning, police are investigating a deadly shooting at a home in Fairfax County. Right now, officers believe it may have been a case of self-defense after a home invasion.
Here are DC News Now's Lex Juarez is live in Oakton this morning where it happened. Lex, can you tell us what led up to this shooting?
Well, police are still investigating exactly what happened, but they did say that one man is dead, and they do believe that it is self-defense, that this shooting happened in self-defense. Now, the Fairfax County Police Department say that it happened around 6 o'clock last night. They say that a homeowner was outside on his property and had some kind of altercation with another man. The homeowner went back inside of his home, and at that point, the man also went inside of the home and brought a large rock with him, and that's when the homeowner shot and killed the man.
As we can interview more folks, review the surveillance footage, we can get a better understanding of what happened outside. But there was an assault that occurred outside on the property that led the homeowner to retreat back into the home that led to our fatal shooting here.
Well, the homeowner was taken to the hospital with minor injuries, but they were not placed under arrest. At the time of the shooting, there were kids and 2 other adults inside of the home. There are no other injuries reported in this shooting as of this time. Of course, as more details come out from the police department, we will bring them to you both here and online live in Oakton, Virginia. I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.
All right, thank you, Lex. Family and friends gathered at a vigil last night for the 15-year-old boy who was shot and killed last week near the Washington Convention Center. The gathering in Mekhi Green's honor was held at the intersection of 7th and N Streets in the Shaw neighborhood in Northwest D.C. Green was shot and killed when a shooter fired multiple shots in a crowd of young people on 7th Street just under a week ago. The police have not found the killer and are offering a reward up to $25,000 for information that leads to an arrest and conviction.
The time right now is 6:05 this morning. Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder finding himself in more hot water. Today, D.C. Attorney General Karl Racine says he is making a major announcement regarding the Commanders. Now, Racine is leading the district's investigation into Snyder's conduct, and a statement from Snyder's team claiming that he has fully cooperated with the investigation. It also referenced the shooting that injured Brian Robinson.
It's just another log on an enormous pile that's been happening here for decades. Everything from stuff that ranges to, brush up against criminal to just regular old lack of decency.
Commanders General Manager Jason Wright apologizing for the statement. DC News Now will be at a press conference and will bring you the very latest on this announcement today.
We're your local election headquarters, and this morning, one key race in Maryland is still uncalled. Right now, Republican state delegate Neil Parrott is ahead of incumbent Congressman David Trone. At this point, it's not clear how soon that race could be called, and neither candidate has conceded to the other. Maryland's 6th congressional district covers parts of Montgomery County, Frederick, and Washington counties, plus all of western Maryland. The day after completing a historic victory in Tuesday's gubernatorial race, the incoming governor of Maryland, Wes Moore, spoke one-on-one with our DC News Now's Leonard Fleming. Now, he asked the governor-elect about what he'll look to accomplish in his first 100 days, and if that includes pushing for a $15 minimum wage.
And one of those things you talked about during the campaign is the $15 minimum wage. Is that a priority in your first 100 days? Can you get it done?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that is a priority where we know that right now it's slated to happen in 2025, and that is too late. It needs to happen next year. We've got to make sure that people are getting paid a fair wage for the work that they are doing. The way you actually do hard things is you take them head on. The way you do hard things is you actually move in partnership to be able to accomplish those things. We know we have real issues, and we know we have real challenges as a state that we have to be able to address.
You can find the full interview with Wes Moore on our website or YouTube page.
Meantime, Northern Virginia Democrats are celebrating after winning 2 competitive House races, keeping all 4 seats in the region.
Yeah, DC News Now's Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Max Marcilla has more.
As 7th District Democrat Abigail Spanberger clinched a 3rd term in Congress, she credited her voting record.
Starting with listening, starting with engaging on the issues, and really making clear the work that I've done.
It seems her message resonated with voters, as did her attack ad, says Professor of Political Science Dr. Stephen Farnsworth.
The campaign ads in this district over and over again by Spanberger just pummeled Vega on this comment about abortion. And that really resonated in suburban Northern Virginia.
We heard that from voters in Dumfries on Election Day.
Great issues about the pregnancy. Disagree with that, so made me come out.
Yesli Vega conceded on Wednesday morning, saying she looks forward to working with Spanberger in the future. Meanwhile, 10th District incumbent Democrat Jennifer Wexton earned her re-election bid on the strength of a 15-point advantage in Loudoun County. Farnsworth believes Republican challenger Hung Cao ran a strong race, but topping an incumbent is tough.
They have greater name recognition, they have a greater ability to raise money, and they have experience.
It was a Republican tide but the tide turned out not to be very strong either.
A Republican tide did help Virginia Republicans flip one seat in the Virginia Beach area as Elaine Luria lost to State Senator Jen Kiggins. Farnsworth says Kiggins was helped by a redrawn district and by how she presented herself.
Having someone who is Trump adjacent, I think, in Virginia works a little bit better than somebody who is all in with the former president.
All right, now, if you're waking up ready to find out who controls the U.S. House and Senate, you might be a little disappointed.
Yeah, results are still coming in from Tuesday's election this morning. We have the latest, though, for you right here on DC News Now. Now, in the House of Representatives, Republicans currently hold 207 seats compared to the Democrats' 184 seats. This is according to the Associated Press. That leaves 44 seats still uncalled for in the race to control the House. Now, meantime, the U.S. Senate, it's 48 seats for Republicans and 46 seats for Democrats. Arizona is still not called, along with Nevada, which is also not called. Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker are on their way to a runoff in Georgia on December 6th. And there's still a lot up in the air this morning, but last evening, President Biden appearing optimistic about the midterms, touting that his party likely lost fewer House seats than any Democratic president in 40 years.
While we don't know all the results yet, at least I don't know them all yet, here's what we do know. While the press and the pundits are predicting a giant red wave, it didn't happen.
Meantime, former President Donald Trump admitting on his social media app that the election was somewhat disappointing. He also claims it was a very big victory. And after some of Trump's candidates underperformed, some in the Republican Party are questioning whether it is time to separate from Trump with the Georgia Sinoff race ahead.
Look, I can't imagine anybody would think Donald Trump would be a tailwind to Herschel Walker's campaign in a runoff scenario. I can't imagine anybody doing that calculus, except for one person, and that would be Donald Trump.
And that was Georgia's Lieutenant Governor speaking with CNN yesterday. The Senate runoff race again is scheduled to take place in December. Your time right now on this Thursday morning is 6:11.
Yeah, coming up after the break, selling off secrets, what one Annapolis couple did to find themselves in hot water with the FBI.
And preparing for impact, how the East Coast is bracing for Tropical Storm Nicole to bring a November surge to the shore. That's next. You're watching DC News Now.